May 2023, April and May 2023, not too far long. And I said, what is the problem? I said, well, obviously, businesses were down and growth was almost nil there. Costs had gone up, 22%, the policy rate. Who can afford a business? It's better to put, I'm sure, money in the treasury bills and have 22%. Which business will give you net of 22%? I'm sure very few. Maybe 𝗟𝗶𝘃 has some secrets, making more than 40-50% per annum. But general return, I'm talking about average. But I always tell them that Pakistan has great potential, and I believe this thing. There is no other country in 2012-13 which was declared macroeconomic unstable country. This is Pakistan. Please recall your memories. Where were you? High inflation, high policy rate, low growth, and predicted to be defaulting within 6 to 8 months, no matter which political party would win the election. What happened? Dr. 𝗟𝗃𝗃 mentioned it was the first time, and Yunus Dhagasa was part of the team. He was heading power sector. The first time Pakistan completed the country, which was known to be 2 or 3 times country and runs away after taking upfront money, the first time it delivered the whole structural program of 12 successful, the reviews. And where did we reach in 2017? We are not talking any other country, we are talking Pakistan. Macroeconomic stable country, interest rate down to one of the lowest, 5.25, export refinance 3.25, growth 6.3%, reserves still not beaten the maximum, crossed 25 billion, close to 26 billion. So that shows the country has the potential. The business community can lead that growth. But we all know that IMF programs are usually and generally, they're anti-growth. So the focus of this government is fully that having achieved this stability, and by the way, don't forget 2017, Google, please now, what was written about Pakistan economy. Don't look towards neighbor, look to Pakistan. And all rating agencies upgraded your ratings. I went to float sovereign paper, 500 million euro bonds. I was offered 14 times, 7 billion. We only picked up 2 billion. So Pakistan has the potential. It's only a matter of going in the right direction and stopping this cyclical nonsenses in this country. And I was the one who, as the finance minister, kept repeating every year, 2013, 2014, 2015, and Dr. 𝗟𝗃𝗃 was part of, again, the economic team in the Ministry of Finance. And we used to give 3 years medium-term macroeconomic framework. 2013 में 2013-16 का दिया, 14-17 का दिया, and kept begging for a chart of economy. But we only care for politics. Nobody paid any heed, and then you were predicted by 2017, you reached 24th global largest economy. You were only 4 notches away from entering the premium economic club of the world, G20. That's what you deserve. You're already nuclear power, God has blessed you with missile power, and the only thing lacking is the full economic flotation and independence. Can Pakistan have it? Of course, indeed. This is my belief, my faith. I would not be joining the government and serving now if I did have that belief. We are only 4 notches away. What happened to the same country? This political gimmicks and instability in the country, where it led to? By 2022, you fell to 47th economy of the world. And within next few months, you were predicted to default. I was asked September 2022, 4th time to take up. Every time there's a mess, economic mess, then I'm called upon to come and rescue. And what was being asked at that time? They were giving dates. Again, see the Googles. They were giving dates. Pakistan will default that day. Pakistan will default with that day. Last one's in May 2023. Fitch gave a date. that they will default by 30th of June 2023, the max. And I kept saying as Finance Minister of Pakistan, IMF or no IMF, Pakistan will not default. And I meant it. And I worked for that with the team, and alhamdulillah, Pakistan didn't default. So you see, this country has resilience. This leadership in the business community, Pakistan has the acumen. They know how to make money. They know how to take the economic cycle forward. So we are the enablers. And rightly said by one of the panelists, that government must exit from the business. This is the key priority of this government. After PIA, we would be unbundling and unwinding many other areas. I try to do with as much speed as I can as chairman of the Cabinet Committee on Privatization. So our focus is that discos, all these loss-making entries must be get rid of, must be privatized. You see the history, whichever institution you privatize in the last 2-3 decades, you made many times more in terms of collecting taxes in future by their increase in profitability. So be large-hearted. So this government, as I said, has a very clear roadmap, and this is the resolve that Pakistan, frankly, I believe that we have returned to current account surplus, as 𝗟𝗃𝗲 Sahab just indicated. It's how much? Just less than 2 years. You have worked hard, you contributed, you implemented the structural reforms, where you back again. Your current account deficit has turned into surplus. Your revenue, tax to GDP has increased by 2%. Your inflation has come down to 5.6% CPI. Pakistan Stock Exchange has made a new, new mark and a new record. It also made in 2017, 16-17, if you recall. At that time, its market capitalization went to $100 billion at that time. So, दूसरी जो problem होती थी, जो मेरे पास साथी business के आते थे, they used to say, सर पकड़ के, बच्चे we are, अभी by the way, one of the slide was debt. The Pakistan debt trap. Okay, for a moment I take it that Pakistan is in deep debt business. But have you ever thought, what is debt to GDP? What are other and compare with other countries? When I left, it was 63%. I triggered in 1999 this Fiscal Responsibility and Debt Limitation Act. It was not imposed by IMF or any other foreign country. It is self-imposed, 60%. When I came back in 2022, it was 73%. It has now gone again under 70%. But what US has, 109% debt to GDP. What UK has after COVID, 100% debt to GDP. But Japan has 257% debt to GDP. So is debt to GDP, high debt to GDP is a constraint? No. What is the solution? Solution is here. You need to reach to a macroeconomic position where when you need to fill your external account difference and gap, you can float your sovereign paper, and the world community should be able to buy that paper, should be willing to buy that paper. And that, this is all facts. And they are available. I'm not talking of just tale stories. 2022-23, your paper was quoted in international markets at that time, sovereign paper at 44%, even it went down as low as 34%. But when we honored our commitments, it shot up to 80% within a year of the PDM government. Now it is always trading above 100%. Why? Because now that confidence is becoming back. So this country has the potential, and frankly speaking, I used to ask my friends, many of them already have the information, ये जो budget की process is 20, do you know what is the number, by the way, debt and liabilities? So $130 billion. 130 billion $, including public debt and liabilities. ये इसको classify इस तरह करते हैं कि liabilities वो हैं जो कि institutions ने borrow किया हुआ है foreign exchange में, या कुछ चीज़ें deferred payment में खरीदी हुई है इस तरह, But obviously the state has to provide, the central bank to provide the foreign exchange, but they will pay the rupees. So one is public debt, which is close to 100 billion. The 30 billion are roughly the liabilities. Have we ever thought what Allah has blessed this country with? The mineral resources, the hydrocarbons, the stones. The most conservative estimate is $6 to $8 trillion. All we need to do is to work hard together, make a serious effort. 6,000 to 8,000 billion, Allah has blessed resources in Pakistan beneath this land, and your debt is 130 billion US dollars. So it's nothing to worry. I'm not saying that we should just get complacent and just sleep over. You have to work hard, and that effort has to be done consistently by every next government which joins in. The economic policies must be consistent. I think Daga Sahab ki ek side wo keh rahi thi, I'm sure most of us know, we have been talking, discussing budget exercises mein. Consistency is the name of the game. Because as Bilwani Sahab said, I think, industrial policy, agar is saal kuch hogi to agle saal kuch hogi, obviously then you can reach nowhere. So main samajhta hu ke things are shaping up. We should not lose hope. We should work extra hard, and Pakistan has a place to achieve, inshallah. Hamari remittances they have reached 27% increase, 38. The projection for this year will be 41. We have an issue. An issue is external debt. You are a twin deficit country for ages. You have a rupee deficit, which is a budget deficit, which you have to obviously borrow from rupees from within the system, and you have external current account deficit. So these two twin deficits have killed us, and we have been unable to fix it. There is no quick fix. आपकी को 30 बिलियन का ट्रेड डेफिसिट है, एक्सपोर्ट माइनस इंपोर्ट्स. आपके ऑलमोस्ट जो रेमिटेंस हैं, जो मैं बात कर रहा हूँ 2016-17, अभी तो योर सरप्लस. वाई? Because remittances plus exports minus imports, you are now current account surplus, thanks God. Because otherwise you need to run to the friendly countries, which have been happening in the past. You have एक number किसी ने दिया 8 to 12, no, it's 12 billion, 8 to 13, 12 billion. Yes, 3 countries you had to take in the last 5-6 years help. 4 billion from China, 5 billion from Saudi Arabia, and 3 billion from UAE. So we must work hard to not resort to borrowing money. We should be making sure, because it has to be export-led growth. One of the slide which we saw, that is the future. You have to plug this gap of the external account gap, and it is not a big amount. All you need is about 10 billion increase in remittances, 10 billion increase in exports, and maybe 10 billion services and other sectors, and you are in business. You will remain surplus. So ये जो एक issue है, debt, public debt वाली है, but it is not, which cannot be managed, and it has to be managed if we have to move forward. Well, a few words about the Foreign Office, where I now have the responsibility mainly, and as Deputy Prime Minister, I do deal with a number of issues, interministerial. I made it a clear commitment the day I joined last year, the Foreign Office, and that was Pakistan's diplomatic engagement must advance Pakistan's economic interests. I called it economic diplomacy. This was my day one in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Khawateen-o-Azad, we have embedded geoeconomics into every major foreign policy channel, and it is, alhamdulillah, delivering. A country which was known to be diplomatic isolated just 3 years back is today, alhamdulillah, is most relevant in the region, most desired to be connected, अभी समझ नहीं आती कि किन को इनवाइट करें और कहाँ जाएं. There are so many invitations on the card and so many desires that dignitaries who want to visit. Just in next few weeks, you will see 2-3 presidents of Central Asian states will be visiting Pakistan. ये वो कंट्री थी जिसे 2012 में बहुत नाक रगड़ रगड़ के एक वोट से यूएन सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल की नॉन परमानेंट मेंबरशिप को जीता था, इलेक्ट हुए थे. दिस टाइम अराउंड October 2024, we won 182 versus 5 votes. This is Pakistan's economic policies. So, few words on China. We have converted. I have recently visited in the first week of this year. They were very kind to invite me. They wanted me to the first foreign person visiting in 2026, China. And they are committed to CPEC 2.0. Their program is in line with our Udan Pakistan, productivity and technology, agriculture, livelihood. So we are integrated, and China has always been a great partner. We are also advancing mineral and energy cooperation to support sustainable growth, while improving regional connectivity through transport and logistic links, including Gwadar Port and the Karakoram Highway. Karakoram Highway would be soon, starting realignment because of the 𝗟𝗶𝘃𝗲 Dam. Pakistan-China all-weather strategic partnership is set to strengthen long-term economic collaboration and deliver tangible benefits for the people of both countries, inshallah. With the United States, our cooperation spans technology, energy, investment, and market access. This includes the finalization of the tariff deal, which ended up better than almost all neighboring countries, 19% tariff, aimed at strengthening Pakistan's export competitiveness and creating new opportunities for trade and growth. Across Europe, we are strengthening GSP-linked access, which the business community wishes and obviously desires to be renewed. We are meeting all the challenges. The wish list of 100 odd was met, and then another 60. And recently, the team came of EU, and they visited Pakistan. And it was very positive. We hopefully it is because the renewal is due in 2027. So it will be a full revisiting of the GSP Plus process. Pakistan is ready to assist. This comment will obviously assist the business community, because this is a very beneficial for our certain sectors, GSP Plus for exports to Europe. Few countries, as an effort on the diplomatic front with those countries like Hungary, Poland, they have already announced they will support us in EU, GSP Plus, by the way. So this is already there. In the Gulf, with Turkey and across the Middle East, major investments and strategic partnerships are accelerating in energy, food, security, logistics, services, and technology. These economic engagements complement our long-standing security cooperation and remain central to Pakistan's FDI strategy. I'm sure you would have noticed that in September this year, September last year, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif signed, after we have been for quite a few months engaged with each other with Saudi, a strategic mutual defense agreement. And it has led to further strengthening the bond and the brotherhood between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan. Each Pakistani, I'm sure, want jaan se bhi zyada aziz hai hum har ek ko Haramain Sharif hain. So whereas formally they are the custodian of the two holy mosques, the King of Saudi Arabia, His Majesty, we are the obviously uske hum muhafiz Allah ne hame banaya through this agreement. And this has led to desire by many countries who wish to join this sort of arrangement with Pakistan. Allah gave you a great victory in May last year. We exercised full restraint. We did not take any escalating move on our own. We only responded in accordance with the UN Charter. But God has been very kind. Allah blessed Pakistan with great honor and great victory. So we are humbled. We want, with all humility, work with respect to each and every nation in the globe, no matter how small, how big. We want equal the sovereignty, the territorial integrity, the respect and dignity of no matter how small or how big a country should be equal. This is the fundamental principle of the international law and order. So we respect this thing. We have again opened a new door to Bangladesh. In August, I personally visited Bangladesh. It was almost after 12 years, but before 12 years, the visit was only to deliver an invitation by one of my former colleague, former Minister of Pakistan, but there was no meaningful engagement, no engagement rather. This time, it was extensive engagements. We are working together. There is a trilateral setup between China, Pakistan, Bangladesh, as we have trilateral setup with Afghanistan as well. So it will all open opportunities and avenues for the business community. The whole effort is to give you an opportunity for export and to do business with all these countries. So I think that Bangladesh, as I said, was a great thing. We are fully connected with the East Asian countries, East Asia, Africa, and God has been kind that at the same time, we make sure that the international partnership is based on mutual respect and dignity. And it promotes our economic interests. So that is the prime goal, and this is the KPI which is given to each and every ambassador who is posted abroad now. That please, you have to deliver. You have to serve the business community. You have to bring the economic benefits to Pakistan. You will be assessed for your next posting after what you deliver in your tenure. So I think if these policies are continued, even in future, these policies will certainly help tremendously. So we are not only stabilizing today's economy, we are laying foundation for tomorrow. Pakistan's growth must be green, digitally enabled, and human capital driven. Climate smart agriculture, renewable energy, sustainable urban development, and green industrial incentives are central to this agenda and to Pakistan's resilience. And incidentally, the growth is the name of the game now. Having achieved stability, though we know that generally the IMF programs are anti-growth. But we would do our best to go towards that direction now. We'll engage with IMF. And because हम आपस में Prime Minister साहब के साथ discuss कर रहे थे in last few days, तो I said कि any growth less than 2.6%, that is zero growth actually, negative growth. Your population growth is 2.65% roughly. So growth below that is zero, or even at that point, below that is negative. Above that is the net growth after 2.65. So we got to reach back to 2017 goal 6.3%. Can you come at 1, 2, 3? No. You have to just take again. At that time it took 3 years, 3.5 years to reach that point where we achieved 2017 fiscal year growth 6.3%. Now that shows that there is a potential, there is a possibility, and if we work together, obviously we can certainly achieve